question where they wanted to understand to go with the old tax regime or the new tax regime. I think you wanted to, yeah.
So I had a question. I'm Yazad, and I have a question. If should salaried individuals, like having home loans, they should switch to the new regime or just stick with the old regime?
Yeah, I personally think a youngster, if you're asking for yourself, you should not even bother learning the old regime. Okay. If you have not started earning yet. Yeah. Because there are limitations. That Section 24 gives you a limit of 2 lakhs. It is not going to be profitable for you to learn all those sections which give you those exemptions. You should only focus on the new tax regime, because kabhi bhi don't swim against the tide. Right? The government wants you to use that, just use that. Unfortunately, people have taken decisions on the basis of old regime, is why that old regime is still alive. Let's assume 5 years back, somebody looked at the old regime, committed to give 5 lakh rupee insurance or 1 lakh rupee insurance premium for the next 20 years under ATC. That guy is still stuck because he's investing mandatorily, and you can't just inverse your decision so easily in certain financial product. So if you're starting from a clean slate, be rest assured, don't go to the old regime. Second, if you are a person who's still not come into the workforce, in India, leave the metros. Most of the rest of them don't start with salaries greater than 5, 6, 7 lakhs an annum. So for the next 5, 7 years, you're not even in the income tax bracket, right? That's a great news. So for somebody who's joining the workforce at 22 with 7 lakh salary, if you look at a 10, 15% appraisal as well, you're already exempt for the next 5 years. So 5, 7 years of working, no tax is such a great thing. Just go with the new one.
Quick comment from Nilesh sir also on this. So Nilesh sir, definitely not talking about the market, but then a taxpayer has really taken this very well, the new tax structure. Your comment on this?
So as Firoz Bhai mentioned, you don't swim against the tide. Earlier, at the stage of economy we were in, it was necessary to give tax incentive for investments and make people compulsorily save something. Today, we have reached a stage where people are financially more literate thanks to people like Firoz Bhai. And second, there's no need to give incentive for savings. So, new tax regime looks like the future. Might as well get used to it.
Okay.
And Kavita, if I can add, when in doubt, you even, let's say you're not referring to yourself, but a taxpayer who's in the, let's say late 30s and earning a decent amount of income, if he or she is not getting exemptions and deductions above 8,50,000 rupees, then the old regime doesn't make any sense at all.
Let's take the other round of questions. I think, yeah. Okay.
Hi.
Sorry.
My name is Ayushi, and I wanted to ask, how does this budget position India against its key global competitors like India and China and Indonesia in attracting FDI?
So I would say this is a budget of continuity of policy. I think the government in previous budgets did a lot in terms of policy reform, Make in India, PLI, etc. I think from a global manufacturer's context, if they were to look at diversifying their supply chains away from China, India is definitely one of the countries that appear to be one of the most attractive. Perhaps what you have seen in the last 1 or 2 or 3 years, as far as deep tech or high tech is concerned, probably Taiwan, Vietnam have taken a leap. But when you look at more mass manufacturing, I think you will see a lot more FDI coming into India. What a lot of people also don't realize is that the emergence of GIFT City is an opportunity to source some of the investments.
You want to add?
Yeah, I think there's also the theme and rise of GCCs, which is Global Capability Centers in India, and which means that a lot of US companies or a lot of out of India companies, they are relying on accountants and people from India to like help them with their services. So in last 1 year, like one GCC was formed in every 2 days, and India has been like the pioneer of accounting services across the world. So that is also shaping up, and that is creating more employment and job opportunities, which is attracting like foreign investment again.
Sure. Nilesh sir, quick take on this?
So one, foreign direct investment is not function of budget alone.
Right.
There are many things which go hand in hand. One, we have to tom stories like Maruti Suzuki. when Suzuki came to India, India was not a large market on automobile. They stayed through all the ups and downs of India. And today, Maruti sells more automobiles in India than Suzuki sells worldwide. Maruti is expanding its capacity in India at a much faster pace than Suzuki does worldwide. And Suzuki has made significant return on their investments in India. In fact, Maruti Suzuki share since its listing in 2003 till today has delivered better return than majority of Japanese automobile makers like Hondas and Toyotas and Suzukis and Nissans. So we have to sell our success stories to global investors. Then we have to create inducement.
Right.
Our competitors like Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Mexico, I mean, they have many advantages and they are better in terms of infrastructure and ease of doing business. But none of them have 144 crore individuals market. If we can give preferential access to people who are setting up shop in India to access our domestic market, that will again create encouragement to set up base in India. Third and the final thing, many of our entrepreneurs are like Abhimanyu. In Mahabharata, Abhimanyu entered into Chakravyuh on his own. But today's entrepreneur is the Kalyuga Abhimanyu, which is born in Chakravyuh. Abhimanyu was only fighting Pandavas, only fighting Kauravas, whereas Kalyuga Abhimanyu is fighting both Pandavas and Kauravas. There are so many laws which burden our entrepreneur. In this budget, Jan Vishwas bill has talked about repealing 100 such laws. Jan Vishwas 1 had repealed 180 such laws, but we need to move more. So by improving ease of doing business, by giving preferential access to domestic market, and by providing success stories like Maruti Suzuki, I think we should be able to score well on attracting foreign direct investment.
All right, very well explained. Next question? Yeah.
Hello panelists, my name is Urjan Padiwala. My question to you all is that what is the government currently planning to tackle controlling inflation while also ensuring fair prices to farmers?
Nilesh sir?
Yeah, so I heard the question and I hope I heard it correctly.
Yeah.
How do we balance the consumer and farmer's interest?
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The simple thing is to remove the inefficiency. Today, a farmer in Himachal Pradesh gets 50 paisa for his apple, and you as a consumer on Mumbai street pay 50 rupees or 25 rupees for the apple. Why is there such a big difference? One is the wastage. Apparently, 40% of apples, get wasted from plucking to transportation to selling in the market. The second thing is intermediation. When farmers come to sell, they don't have holding capacity and hence they end up selling, and their supply makes the lowest prices and the intermediaries make the money because they have the holding capacity. Now, by reducing intermediation and removing wastages, I can ensure that consumers' cost of product comes down and the farmers' receipt increases. How do we do that? The first is the storage. If we have cold storage, then farmers can store their goods rather than selling it at throwaway prices. Second is the transportation. We need to ensure that there is efficient transportation from villages to cities so that people can, have limited or lower wastages. Right. The third is value added. Like Nagpur oranges are very famous, but we don't have a brand like Tropicana for orange juices. How do we convert orange pulp into orange juice and get it branded and sell it all over the world so that there is more revenue to the farmer? Removing intermediation, improving productivity and efficiency, and creating value add, farmer and consumer, both interests will get protected.
All right. One last question. Yeah. You have the mic?
Hi, my name is Aryan, and my question is, as we saw, there's a tax relief up to 12 lakhs. So, as this was announced, we saw a quick boom in the FMCG sector as well as the auto sector. So, the auto indices and Auto B saw a good boom along with the top companies like Mahindra and Mahindra, Maruti Suzuki. So, is it like the government wants the middleman and the middle class to spend wisely and spend in the auto sector? If not, then which other sector?
So I think most of us should not take too much note of short-term moves of specific sectors. See, when you look at, like you said, as soon as this announcement was made, automobile and FMCG stocks ran up. Those are very small volumes. They're not a great barometer of which sector is the ideal sector to invest the money in. Second, if there is money left on the table, see, if there was little money left, like every budget is incremental, 5,000 more in one's hand, 10,000 more. This time it is significantly more, is why it's spilled over from FMCG to automobile. Because the ticket sizes are large. To answer your pointed question, if you ask me which are the sectors we would like to focus on, we call it ABC. A is automobile, banking and consumption driven, any stock for that matter.
My question is that, was the government focused on ESG compliance?
You want to add, Feroz?
From an investor standpoint, I think this is now, if Anthony Saab can launch a fund. But from an investor standpoint, I think we are a long way away. I, as an investor, I would not want Indian investors to focus on ESG. Firstly, 92% of the last year, households saved 34 lakh crores. You know how much went into equity? 7%. How much went into deposits? 43%. 17% went into ULIP. 12% and 13% went into small savings. Pension took 10%. How will somebody beat inflation? I don't understand. We on TV shows keep talking about 60 equity, 40 test, इतना आराम से. देखने जाओ तो इंडिया एलोकेट कर रही है 7% इक्विटी में. ESG बाद में करूंगा. आज मेरे महंगाई मात देने की लाले पड़े हुए हैं. So when I have to become responsible, I'll become responsible as a country. Some developed country has gone through that full evolution. India has to go through the evolution. Today, the government is allowing investors to make a choice. Earlier, government was forcing and making you invest in debt instruments. That's what the ATC was all about. So I'm very happy that today you're getting money in your hand. We can look at responsibility as an investor. Of course, every company, I think basic hygiene should be ESG. I am also a listed company. I think I should have ESG as the basic fabric of my banat. Or the cultural fabric of my banana.
Exactly.
But from an investor standpoint, I think it's a little way away.